Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to sift through, well, a whole stack of reports and notes on major global events.
That's right.
Today, we're doing a really crucial deep dive. It's about the recent United States strike on Iran.
Mm-hmm. A very serious development.
Exactly. Our mission, as always, is to kind of cut through the noise, look at the immediate fallout, the bigger worries, basically help you understand what's going on and why it matters.
Okay.
So let's get into it.
Well, the core fact, the factual report is this.
Hmm.
The U.S. carried out a strike on Iran.
Right.
And what's really striking is how immediately it set off alarm bells pretty much everywhere,
Instantly.
almost instantly. Our sources, our briefings, they flagged things like a big jump in regional military alerts.
Okay.
Also a really unusual amount of cyber activity, targeting critical systems.
Wow.
And then the UN Security Council called an emergency session, like right away.
So all these signals together.
Yeah, they all point to just how significant, how impactful this action was right from the get-go.
That makes sense. And looking at the immediate impact across, different sources, it seems undeniable. This is really cranking up global tension.
It absolutely is.
We're seeing more than just diplomatic statements. There's a definite shift in how countries in the region are talking.
Change in tone, definitely.
Yeah, and analysts are highlighting commodity prices ticking up, market anxiety, basically.
Right, the economic jitters.
So if that's the immediate ripple, what about the potential for for something bigger? What are the most alarming warnings you've seen in the sources?
Okay, this is where it gets, frankly, pretty sobering.
Mm.
The most alarming thing, some really prominent experts in these reports, they're explicitly warning. They're using the phrase Third World War.
Wow. That's a heavy term.
It is very heavy. Now, they're clear. It's important to understand this nuance. So they don't necessarily mean like trench warfare across continents.
Right. Not like World War I or II.
Exactly. It's more about a cascade of proxy conflicts, maybe intense cyber warfare hitting major systems, crippling economic sanctions, things that can just unravel alliances, destabilize trade, security, the whole international setup.
So a different kind of global conflict, but still potentially devastating.
Precisely. It really makes you think about how maybe fragile global peace actually is right now,
Yeah.
especially with all the complex relationships in that region.
That distinction is so important. Okay, so given these, very serious warnings, what does this mean for right now, for us?
Yeah, what do we do?
Well, the sources are really hammering this point home. The absolute immediate need is for accurate information, verified information,
Sure.
and just keeping a very close watch on what happens next. Leading think tanks are saying, let's assess this calmly, let's focus on facts.
To stop misinformation making things worse.
Exactly. It's about being informed, engaged, but not getting swept away by speculation.
And that leads right into another strong message from the sources, this kind of collective call for action. Across the board, diplomatic reports, humanitarian groups, there's this really strong, almost desperate hope that countries will just focus on de-escalation.
Pulling back from the brink.
Yes. Work really hard to keep the peace.
Yeah.
You see scholars pointing to like international bodies, the UN, needing to step up, facilitate talks, prevent mistakes.
So dialogue is key.
It's critical. It's not just about reporting a crisis. It's this like global plea for stability in a super volatile time. It shows how connected we all are, especially on peace.
Looking back at everything we've discussed, what really stands out is just the sheer gravity of it all.
Yeah.
You have the immediate tension, which is, tangible, and then this stark warning about a potential, Third World War, even if it looks different this time.
It's sobering.
It really is. It shows how fast things can escalate from just one event and how much nations rely on each other to stop things spiraling.
Exactly. And I think for you listening, this whole deep dive really underlines why getting precise, verified information is so vital in times like these. And also appreciating the kind of constant effort needed for international cooperation. It's often behind the scenes, but it's crucial.
Yeah.
It kind of leaves us thinking, doesn't it, about how fragile global stability actually is. And that keeping the peace, especially now, isn't automatic.
Yeah.
It takes constant active work from everyone involved.